you would be an absolute waste if you don't go knock doors.
Let's just do what we say we're going to do. Even if it sucks, just do it. And if you can't do it, then say I can't do it.
But if you don't get started, you're never going to get to the point to even look quitting in the eye.
Life is a pitch. It's simply that. It is a pitch, and it is fun. Let's make sure that you're being sold what you want and you're selling what you actually want to sell. I really just love selling. It's the easiest thing on the planet if you believe in yourself. Let's buckle up. By the way, my name's JL. This is Sell Anything.
All right, everybody. As you may notice, the background here is different. The headphones are new. We are at my friend Jonny Johnson's studio here at Lift Threads. Jonny is a uberly successful entrepreneur and a salesman. And for those of you that know him, he's very passionate. And that passion has got him far. It's got him very far.
I'm in trouble.
Now,
I mean,
but it's got you far.
Yeah.
So, Jonny, thank you for hosting the podcast today.
Thanks for taking it down here.
Hey, my pleasure, dude. So, tell us about you, dude. We want to hear about you.
Where do you want to start?
So, here's where we want to start. How? Why Lift Threads? Of all the guys that I know, when we worked together in the door-to-door industry, you had like 9 or 10, not really that many, but a handful of businesses always running.
Yeah.
Always going. So, and you come from a pretty entrepreneurial family.
Yeah.
Brothers are pretty successful entrepreneurially. All those fun things. So why?
Yeah. So we'll start back. So I am a father. I love being a dad. I have twins that are 11. They turn 12 next month. Boy, girl twins. And I have a little sweetheart, Charlie. She's 9. Got married to my wife. She's beautiful. Ashley. I think if you ask me the reason why I started businesses is because I always wanted freedom. I have always cherished time with my family. And it wasn't nothing like my dad. He owned a construction company growing up, crazy busy because he didn't know how to like scale. So he was that guy everyone loved. Always on the job site though, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. and then doing bids at night. But he always made time for us. And I felt like that was such an important part of my upbringing. I wanted to make sure that I was always in control with my time. So I think that's a lot of the reason why I started doing businesses was because of that. And my first one was when I got for my mission. I started like a landscaping business. I didn't know what I was doing.
I like it.
I bought a little rickety trailer and Kate Collins. So actually she's a sweet old lady. Talked her into let me redo her front yard and I sucked at it. It's terrible, but anyway. So I think if you ask the reason why I started business, started Lift Threads, started the few of the others that I've sold is I think for me the ultimate goal is freedom. I don't even know if it's really a financial thing. It's being able to do what I want with my family, my friends when I want to.
I like it, dude. I like it. Okay. So before you start, so you did the landscaping business and then you had, where I first met you is having a lot of success on the doors.
Yeah.
There's like the legend of Jonny Johnson is out there. He's running. He has the biggest region of clear. He's doing all these things. And I met you and I was like, this guy's hustling, dude. I like this guy. So how did you get on the doors? Because a lot of the people listening to this have been on the doors.
Yeah. I think it should be a mandatory thing. I think every human should try to knock on the door. Anyone who wants to be entrepreneur should do a summer on the doors because every door is different. So the way that I explain it to people is you knock on a door and you have like a 90-year-old lady that you're trying to talk into in our situation, getting an alarm system. Yeah. Then the next door is like a 35-year-old biker that hates everybody. Then the next door is like a brand new married couple. Then the next door is like, they're just a great family. Then the next door is an angry human and you have to learn how to identify how to talk to those people and identify with those people immediately. It's not one of those things where you can get to know grandma before you sell her like this angry biker guy, right? Yeah. You have to be able to read their body language and their tone and how they even open the door. They open it real quick, matching pitch, man. And that set me up. But I came over on a mission and I was a really good missionary. I was really obedient and I went to the Philippines and had a lot of success on my mission. And when I got home, I went to UVU, got a 4-year scholarship. And I found that if I told people I was mildly interested in selling, they would take me to lunch. And I was poor. So I kid you not, probably for 3 or 4 months, man, I'd be like, oh yeah, dude, I'm totally interested in going selling pest control or alarms or dish. And these guys would take me and I was good, man. I would like pretend like I was interested, never talk to them again, go to the next guy. And actually one of my biggest regrets is I didn't go out my first summer. I tried that landscaping company. That was a complete failure. Just awful. But, the next year I went out, and it was actually like right after the summer, and Scott Warner took me to dinner, and I was late.
Yeah.
Because I didn't care. I didn't want to go.
Right.
And he looked at me straight in the eyes and he said, dude, I've known you for 20 minutes. He's like, you would be an absolute waste if you don't go knock doors. He's like, not financially. He said, you need this because you're really good at what you do. You're really good at talking to people, but you're not polished.
Mm.
And I was like, screw you, man. You don't even know me. And that like ate me up for a couple of days. So I
You
called
challenged.
I'm there, dude.
Yeah.
So I went out my first summer, went to San Diego, and dude, knowing what I know now, I was so stupid. I was like, I want $1,000. I want my girlfriend, who's now my wife, to have her own apartment there. Got to stay in, gotta stay in the Lord's boundaries or whatever. So she's got to have her own apartment. Yeah. She's going to be the office manager, and I got to go to San Diego. If you can make all those three things happen, I'll go out. And he's like, done. And I was like, crap. Because once I commit to something, I'm pretty committed. So went out for that summer. It was great, man. One of my favorite summers ever. It was terrible as far as like recruiting. I only recruited like one guy.
Yeah.
And anyways, it was a learning summer.
Yeah.
But I learned a lot about how to sell.
Yeah.
So the next summer I recruited 28 guys. We went back to San Diego.
That's a lot, dude.
Yeah. San Diego's
what were you was selling alarms? For who? For
Pinnacle.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, Pinnacle. And anyways, a really difficult market. It was around 2009.
Okay.
So really difficult market.
Yeah.
And not only is it difficult because just it's Southern California in 2009, but we would have our meeting. We'd go to the beach in the morning, have our meetings at 11, and then I'd be like, all right, you sell too. We're going back to the beach. Find ourselves back at the beach at like 5 o'clock. So that was one of my favorite summers of all time. But what I did is Scott called me and he's like, hey, your goal is 150. You're at 86. And the end of the summer, he's like, you got to extend to hit your 150.
Yeah.
And I was like,
personal accounts or team accounts?
Personal account.
Okay.
Our team did like 1,200. So not
terrible for a first year.
28, dude, you should be doing 3,000.
Yeah, right.
But we didn't knock a lot. So
yeah.
The other hard thing with that is I had some absolute units with me and they didn't do well. So they didn't make a lot of money. So they didn't come back.
Yeah.
Learn. So I ended up packing up. We drove through the night. I stopped one night at my house and we drove to Chicago. I ended up selling 83 the next month. So I sold 86 in 4 months. I sold 83 the next month.
In a month?
In a month.
That's a lot.
In Rockford, Illinois. Yeah. So I ended up selling more than 150. Yeah. So then I recruited another group. We went out. Anyway, I started selling. Just started selling. And then I was at Pinnacle for another couple of years. Went to Elite Home Security for a couple of years. And then you and I met.
Yeah.
Like we'd met before, but actually met when I went to Clear. You kind of know the story there.
Yeah.
So
wild, dude.
Yeah.
83. That's what all the things you told me. That's a lot in a month.
And all their switchovers. The ADT days when I just go and no one had touched Rockford, Illinois, man. And it was great. I would just call ADT back when you could call ADT and be like, hey, Miss Delilah wants to cancel her alarm. Okay, cool. She's going to get a $15 refund. Great.
Yeah.
Thanks. Yeah. It was great.
That smart. Found a loophole.
Find a loophole. Not very smart. I found out though, because I wasn't getting paid anything because I didn't care. I just wanted to win. Yeah. I just wanted to be the best.
Dude, there's so many little nuggets to take away from that. The one that stood out in the very beginning is, okay, once I commit to something, I'm pretty committed. Like, let's talk on that. Let's like unravel that just for a minute. Okay. We live in a world now where it's like, if people don't get instantaneous success, they're like, I don't think it's for me. And how many times have we heard on the doors, God just may not want me to do it because it's hard.
Yeah, God hates door-to-door sales. I know. I learned that because there's so many people that are like, he's prayed about it. Jesus doesn't want me in California. And I know, dude, that's not it. You're just lazy, bro. Like that's literally it. But yeah, heard it many times.
Yeah. So commitment is a big deal.
Yeah, I think to me it's one of the biggest things that are missing. You look at it even with like college sports. There's no commitment to anything anymore,
dude. Portal, yeah.
Little league sports, NFL, I mean, guy doesn't want to get drafted, dude. It's every little kid's dream to get drafted, and guy doesn't want to get drafted because he doesn't want to go to a team.
Silly.
Commitment is missing, and I think that's a huge thing that is important. So yeah, I think commitment to me is really important.
Yeah, 100%. Okay, so when you were running the team, 28 dudes. That's a lot in one summer. First summer makes sense to recruit one dude because you don't know what you're getting into. So it's hard to recruit something you have no idea what you're doing. 28 is a ton. How many finished this summer with you?
Like 7.
That sounds about right.
And then Dude, oh man, I could tell you stories for days. Some of them are still my very best friends today.
Yeah.
Like some of them, man, I like that summer was the best summer ever. And we like, dude, there's still some, like some of them, one of them I know, like Matt Francis, he lives in Arizona. If I called him today, I was like, hey dude, I need you. He drafted tonight. Like he's that friend.
Yeah.
He did well. A lot of them, dude, we just didn't work hard. We had fun.
Yeah.
We had so much fun.
Yeah.
So about 7, and then 2 of them went with me to San Diego or to LA or to Chicago, and then they finished there, but they didn't come back the next year. The only one that came back was Francis.
Right. Did he ever come to Clear at all?
No.
No.
No, he's a rock star in his own right, selling like SaaS.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
That's a big thing now.
Yeah.
A lot of door-to-door guys have pivoted to SaaS.
Yeah, he kills it.
Cool. I love it. Okay. So when we were working at Clear together, you had the trailer company. You had, I feel like there was another.
I was doing apparel too.
That's what you were doing
apparel.
But it wasn't Lyft.
No, well, yeah, it was the same. We just changed the name. It was called Cruiser Promo Solutions.
That's right.
Yeah.
Cruiser Promos. Because of the Land Cruiser guy.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Okay. So tell us about Lyft, because I'm going to brag on them just for a second. Shills. Still had to sell to get yourself into Shills.
Yeah.
Shills is a big deal.
Yeah, and they just added 4 SKUs. So next month we'll have 4 more SKUs in there. 4 more item formative. So it's going well. They wouldn't. So it's going good. I'm really excited about it.
Cool. And then a lot of big brands here locally on the Wasatch Front you guys represent. You do all their swag, all their deals. So going back to the beginning of the conversation, I think everybody needs to learn how to sell. It should be mandatory for a human. Yeah. How has sales been effective in building Lyft?
I think sales sometimes has a negative connotation, and it shouldn't.
100%.
The way that we sell at Lyft is, Lyft is sprouted into like 4 different verticals. We have our 3PL where we'll same day fulfill and ship for other brands, like I said. We have our manufacturing where we'll manufacture for companies like Bucked Up or like Swig or these summer door-to-door companies.
Yeah.
We'll do those. And then we have our brand, which is in Shills. But our biggest vertical is our promo stuff. So I'll design a blank, these shorts, this shirt, and then companies will come to us and we'll put their logos on our shirts. The coolest thing about that company is we're right now where we were at the end of October this year, last year, revenue wise. So we're about 36% ahead of where we were last year.
Really?
I've spent $0 on marketing for promos. We have 0 active sales guys.
Yeah.
It's 100% word of mouth.
Wild.
So going back to your question, how sales help that? I think sales is something that's an interesting thing because sales, like I said, has a negative connotation. It shouldn't. But I think sales is treating people right after the fact.
Yeah.
I think sales is making sure that you deliver on your promises.
Right.
I think like for instance on your shirts.
Yeah.
We just did your shirts. They look great. Yeah. Except for 3 or 4 of them.
Yeah.
And it's like, crap, that sucks.
Yeah.
But we're going to replace it. We're going to make it right.
You didn't even hesitate.
Because if you don't do that, like it's just not going to, but I learned that on the doors. You got to take care of people, get referrals, because that's the best way to do it.
Right.
So what I learned on the doors that helps me now here, what I learned selling is if you treat someone right, they're going to want to help you. They're going to want, and it's the coolest thing ever, man. I got, there's one gentleman who I learned I met just randomly. He's a big wig at a local solar company.
Mm-hmm.
He's probably referred us $100,000 in business in the last 2 months. It's been crazy.
That's awesome.
And I was like, dude, well, what can I do for you? He's like, just take care of my people.
Yeah.
I said, well, can I send you a check? He's like, I don't need a check.
Yeah.
Just take care of these people that I send your way. I love your gear. I love what you do.
Yeah.
And so obviously I'm going to send him our gear. I'm going to send him extras and stuff. But so I think sales, you have to understand that sales, like you said, no matter what you do in your whole life, you're going to be selling something. My wife is a dental hygienist. Her dentist has to sell that he's better than the 13 other dentists within a mile radius.
Yeah.
He has to sell that idea that he's going to help them, Yeah. And so I think the better you are with just people in general, then the better the higher sales be, the better your sales will be.
100%. Well, and the cool thing is if everything is word of mouth and there's no active salespeople, there's no marketing, that means you are doing what you said you were going to do. You are over delivering. And that's especially in the door-to-door space, that's something that is so overlooked because it's like, I'm going to do whatever it takes to get this deal done. And what happens after that, I don't care. I'm going back to Utah, is really hurt a lot of people, a lot of chargebacks.
And it's changed, I think, not only the chargebacks, I think it's changed people.
Okay. I mean, I agree with you, but
you may know a few people that were really good people. And then they just became okay with blatantly lying to people.
Mm.
That that to me is more detrimental than a chargeback
1,000%.
because they go to build a business later and
Nobody trusts them.
they're just okay with not doing it right. And then they can't build that business because of the habits they created on the door. So I think chargebacks suck. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
Fixing 4 shirts sucks. Don't get me wrong. But I think
your soul in the process.
Yeah. And dude, we both know people.
Yeah.
That you're like, dude, I wouldn't trust you with a nickel. Like I wouldn't trust you with like $1. Like, you know what I mean? So I don't know. I think sales in general, I think the number one quality in a good salesperson is honesty and fulfilling on what you're supposed to do, even when it hurts.
Oh, dude.
It goes back to the commitment thing.
Yeah. 100% it does.
Yeah.
So the biggest reason, and I've said this on a few podcasts, but the biggest reason that I started Sell Anything is because I was seeing so many people that, because you, like you said with Francis and the guys that actually are in the grind with you, you're going to love these dudes.
Oh yeah.
Like you just genuinely love them and they're homies. It's like a missionary companion. You're just like, because knocking doors in and of itself is not easy. It is a pile of suck sometimes. And so when you've got a community of dudes that are doing it day in and day out, you're having success, you're having fun, you become buddies. But then when you see your buddies who get in the habits of either the drugs or the alcohol or the infidelity or the just flat out lying, which all three of those things have a trace of that in it. And then you're like, I don't even know who you are anymore, dude. And I don't even know how to help you. Like, that's why I started it was, I just want to put more good out there and let's just tell the truth. Let's just do what we say we're going to do. And even if it sucks, just do it.
Yeah.
And if you can't do it, then say, I can't do it.
Yeah.
However, if you can not do it currently and you think you can pull it off, freaking send it and figure it out. But make sure you figure it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty wild.
Yeah. Yeah. Door to doors for me, that was like maybe the hardest thing for me, because not only are you lying to customers, but how many people, JL, right now owe you money from sign-ons?
A lot, dude.
Do you like to think about it?
I did. I actually hadn't even thought about it, but those a sign-on bonus. I forgot that even existed, but I could pay off a few things with the sign-on bonuses I've given out.
I remember telling my accountant every year, planning about $50,000 that I gave to people on a promise, and I never got it back.
That's valid.
And cool, I got to write it off, whatever. But that hurts.
Yeah.
A lot of them are your friends.
Yeah,
that hurts. So it took me a while when I started Lyft to really trust people.
Yeah.
I lost faith, really, that people wanted to even actually be my friend, because in the door-to-door space, you're reliant so much on other people's perseverance and energy, right? That like you're always catering to that, but then you ask yourself, man, is this genuine?
Yeah.
You know? So I don't know. That was hard for me to get back to, but I feel like I'm in a good spot right now with my clients that, dude, I like people come in and I love it, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
well, and your team downstairs is incredible, dude.
I'm So I'll talk about my team downstairs, actually. So I built Lyft Threads. I'll kind of tell a story, I guess, if that's all right with you.
I would love it.
So
that's why we got this background. I want to know about it. It's in
built
chill.
this.
You go ride the Ferris wheel, get some Lyft Threads.
Yeah, please. So I started a print promo company in 2010 when I was the president of sales at a company, because I couldn't figure out a way to get what I wanted for my guys. I couldn't figure out a way to get it. I learned all the different ways to go about getting a wholesale account. I learned all the different terminology. I learned how to do it all. I actually taught myself Illustrator, which is no easy task. I'm still learning.
I remember on little blitzes when we'd go to Chicago and we would share rooms or whatever, and you're just over there designing stuff.
I love
just in the zone, dude.
Yeah, dude.
We do what we need to do, have dinner, and then we're back at the hotel, and Johnny's just like,
I mean, dude, that was the thing. I just didn't stop. I still don't, right? Yeah. So in 2010, I built a company. I actually merged with a buddy of mine, Mike Hartle. We built a company together. He bought me out of that company. In about 2021, I think it was, my cousin's ex-husband. Yeah, he's the best graphic designer I've ever met in my whole life.
Okay.
But he loves just
cousin's ex-husband.
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
That's a story. But good dude. But he was built, he actually had this industry this company that he would order 200 patches, Velcro patches, and they would put it to the top of his Land Cruiser. and they were limited edition patches. And I was there one time, I think my wife was getting a haircut by his wife or something. And he's like, watch this. And he hit like open and he sold out of 200 patches in like 12 minutes. And they were like $18 patches. He was making them for like $2, call it whatever.
Yeah.
And I was like, dude, have you ever thought about scaling this? And he's, no, I don't want to scale. I'm like, well, let me help you. So I joined up with him. We ended up adding clothes to the business, and we ended up giving away
Cruiser promos.
Cruiser promos.
Okay.
That's actually cruiser gear.
Okay.
And we ended up giving away a couple of FJ Land Cruisers.
I remember it's all coming back.
That was scary because, dude, those things are not cheap, and you're rebuilding them when you find out the motors don't work, and it's like, cool, 45 grand. Cool. This is great.
Yeah.
But it was good. That was good. It was fun. He and I had a lot of differences.
Yeah.
Both just in work habit, but also just in like down to like politics. Religion, everything. We were polar opposites, and we didn't work out very well. So he bought me out of Cruiser Gear because I was actually making money.
Yeah.
And I took Cruiser Promos.
Yeah.
So, and I immediately changed the name to Lift Threads. I never really liked Cruiser Promos. That was his thing. I don't care about names if it was a big deal to him. So my goal was to create a polo at that point, because I was like, okay, the problem is everyone's fishing from the same pond. Every single print and promo company in Salt Lake City can get the same blanks, can get the same type of prints, everything like that. There was nothing really new.
Yeah.
And I knew there was a few differences in the industry. There was no high-end blanks. There was none. You couldn't find a high-end blank. You couldn't find a blade polo, and you couldn't find any same-day fulfillment services, which is what everyone was asking for, but no one had figured it out. So I ordered a batch of 100 blade polos. And you know Jordan Binning?
Yeah.
He bought them all.
Yeah.
He bought them all for his company. He loved them. He said, order more. So I ordered 500. He bought them all. Then I ordered 5,000, and I ordered like hot pink and mint, and I still have those. That was 2 years ago. No one's buying hot pink polos, man, to knock on.
Yeah.
But I realized, man, I got something here, and I love this stuff. And so I started really paying attention to what was going, the Built, the 10,000, the Legends, these different companies that are all sudden up and coming, and you can, because back in 2000, you couldn't. There wasn't the technology available for you to be able to go and design clothes and talk with China like you can, or overseas like you can. Now you can. The world's so flat, man. Yeah. Now you can. And so I figured out some suppliers after many misses, like airballs, like bad.
Yeah.
And started designing stuff. So we started designing stuff, blanks, bringing over blanks. And dude, we were doing really well. And I had owned a trailer dealership at the time. So we were operating out of the top of the trailer dealership. It was like 800 square feet.
Yeah. And
I remember one day I come downstairs and we got a shipment in, and we had 47 boxes in the lobby of my trailer dealership.
Yeah.
And my business partners come to me and they're like, hey, dude, you don't love trailers anymore. Let's figure this out. So they bought me out of that. I took all that out. I took it in my basement. I put it in my basement.
I remember seeing the posts on the social media of your basement just from ceiling to floor, dude.
It was, I told my wife.
And Ashley's just there like with a smile being like, I got you, dude.
Smile. There's some days.
But I got you.
Yeah, no,
she's always at
She's the best. So yeah, I actually told her, I said, hey, give me 2 years out of the house.
Smile.
Give me 2 years. Oh, sometimes. She's like, yeah, I trust you. That's fine. And I'm like, this is crazy. Cause now so I was the president, I was the trailer dealership, and then I worked at Sunder as their dealer coordinator. So I would help with training, stuff like that. Bring on dealers for
what does Sunder do?
Solar.
Okay.
That's time
after Clear. Okay.
So I was making really good paychecks. Plus I was doing this on the side, making good money. Right.
Yeah. So
I told my wife, I'm quitting Sunder
and
I'm selling the dealership, but I structured it so that it was like a 5-year payout so that they didn't go, they didn't have to come out. So
yeah,
we went from making really good money every month to dumping 25 grand into this thing every month. It was great. And I said, not only that, I'm going to be operating out of our home and we're going to move everything into our basement. And so give me 2 years. If it doesn't work out, I'll go back on the doors.
Yeah.
About 6 months after that, my garage was full floor to ceiling. My basement was full floor to ceiling. We couldn't park my cars in the garage. So I said, we got to go find a warehouse.
Yeah.
So we came and found this place, but we were only operating in half of the warehouse.
Yeah.
And we filled that up in 6 months. And so then I went to the landlord because we were only operating out of half of it. And I said, hey man, and we'd become friends.
Yeah.
I said, I got to go. I can't operate out of here anymore. We're out of space. And he said, well, I'll just kick the other people out. So he'd been here for 9 years.
Yeah.
And I think it was time too for both of them. I think it ended up being a good move. So he actually, they left. We moved into the whole space, and now we operate out of about 10,000 square feet. So yeah, it's been like, it's packed 2.5 years. It is packed. Yeah. We have, but the things I'm proud of is I'm bootstrapping the whole thing. We don't like I run the company. It's my company.
Yeah.
But back to your original question is the girls that work down there. I'm convinced that my clients come in to hang out with all of my employees. They're incredible.
Yeah.
So, yeah, so it's been awesome. They work their guts out. So most of my girls that work down here, I call them my girls, probably not right, but most of them drop their kids off at school.
Yeah.
And then they come to work, and then they go pick
their husbands know you call them your girl?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I don't know. I don't know if they do or not.
They do now?
My employees. Well, they're my girls. I mean, they're my, you know.
You got their back. Yeah.
Yeah. And so, we grew from just, my wife runs my whole shipping department. So it's been really cool.
Does she work at the dental place full time?
Just 1 day a week.
Okay, cool.
Because she likes to keep up with the practice.
Right. And the gas, dude. You got to love gas.
Yeah, dude, it's the best thing ever. I go in there and I say, hey, doc, just let me sit here for 30 minutes. And he's like, I got you. Mormon high, dude. I think I would be dude, this is a gross tangent, but I would be a drug addict, I think, if I started doing that stuff, because I love that gas so much. I do it every day.
It's great.
Oh, it's like one time in my life that I can just relax.
You don't even move, dude. You just and if you put in some calm, when I get like dental work done, I'll put in just some calm meditation stuff. I'm out, dude.
Oh, dude, I'm like trying to talk to people. I'm person.
I'm just out.
Well, and sorry I'm late, bro. Traffic's backed up, man. But
that's funny.
Yeah, it's funny. And then I always feel like I'm tingly.
Yeah.
And I try and lift my hand up, and I'm like, I'm floating.
And after she's like this. Yeah.
She's like, because she's cleaning my teeth.
Yeah. She's like,
knock it off, whack.
Yeah. And you're like,
it didn't even hurt.
I can't even feel it.
I'm super high. Yeah, I probably shouldn't do drugs ever.
None of us should. It's a bad idea.
Yeah.
It's still the same principles of when we were little. Don't do drugs. It's a bad idea.
But
there's no plan.
Sometimes I'm like, dude, that gas feels good though.
The gas is good. That's why it's okay.
So yeah, she runs the whole shipping department. It's been really cool to see her transition from an incredible mother to a businesswoman. She's on it, dude. I was really nervous about working with her, but she'll ship over $1 million in shipping this year. It's incredible what she can do. It's incredible to see her and it's funny too, because like we have we're married, we have, husband, wife, conversations, but when she's here, she'll tell me if I'm doing a real shitty job at something, she'll let me know. And it's just oh, okay. So
yeah.
So that's pretty cool. That's one unique thing about our business is when you come in here, you're going to have fun. The girls here are incredible. The vibe is really fun. Yeah. I've got some really great high school girls that fill in the summertime.
Yeah.
And they're just fun. They're it's fun to listen to them talk and ask me questions like I'm ancient.
Yeah.
Wait, when you were dating, this is our conversation today. How did you call people when you were dating? I'm like, a telephone? I don't know. What do you mean? Well, yeah, but did you have a pager? And one of them's like, what's a pager? And I was like, I'm so old.
You did have a pager, didn't you?
No, my dad wouldn't let me have one. I didn't have the only people that had pagers were drug addicts.
That's the drug dealers.
Drug dealers, it was a deal, yeah.
The addicts were paging them.
Yeah.
Yo, bro, meet me 7-Eleven, I'm ready.
And then getting a payphone.
Yeah.
It's yeah. So no, I didn't have a pager, but they asked me what it was, and I'm like, I'm so old, dude.
Yeah, we are old, dude. My favorite part of the day when I came in, you're like, do I really look like I'm the same age as him? And then you're like, oh, we are. That's
dude. Yeah, they're fun. So so that's good. It's kind of the story of Lift Threads,
dude. Basement to big old 10,000 square feet.
Yeah,
I like it.
Yeah, it's been good.
So tell us just a tiny bit about what's the process if someone's wanting to do what you are doing, and they want to start their own brand and they want to get into a Shills, because Shills is a big old retailer, man.
Yeah,
that's a big deal.
Yeah, Shills is
that's a win.
Shills it's a bigger deal than I even thought. After I've looked at it, brands have gotten their beginnings at Shills.
Yeah,
it's pretty good in
Patagonia and Colombia.
Yeah, have you heard of the brand? It's called Unreal, UNRL. UNRL, and there's another brand called 10,000.
I've actually seen Unreal. Yes.
Okay, so both of those, I learned this when we got in there.
Yeah.
Both of those brands started as local, just like what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And then they did well, so they had a bigger launch in 12 stores, and then now they're all 38 stores.
Wild.
So I'm hoping that happens, but
yeah.
I'm also learning that the retail space is interesting.
Yeah.
You got to keep up on them, and
yeah.
So yeah, it's a learning curve. Everything's a learning curve.
It really is, dude.
Yeah.
Which requires the commitment to get through it.
Yeah. Because there's been a few times.
Because you just threw your hands in the air as soon as it got hard. You're like, well, we got. Nothing
I wouldn't have made it past like week 2
on the door.
on the doors or in this business or anything.
100%, dude. That's
Um,
so. Let's take off the hat just a little bit more. Here's what I mean. Coaching. You're always coaching too. You with the
No.
twins, one of your boys, baseball, football,
Yep.
hockey.
Yep.
He's doing. You don't coach hockey, do you?
I did. Yeah, I actually
Do
got
you
kicked
know
out of
anything
a
about
game.
hockey?
No, but I'm just there.
I could see you getting kicked out of a game. I could for sure see
Yeah,
that.
that's wild.
Yeah.
I've gotten kicked out of everything I've coached of his except for football. I've gotten kicked out. Well,
Football, you
football,
didn't get kicked out
I
of.
have gotten kicked out twice of one game, but I got reinstated because the guy was sold. He forgot why that's referees for you conference, but whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
You guys remember at the beginning when I was like, "Hey, he's passionate. He really is. He gets going." Can we talk about why you got kicked out? Is there like some lessons in there we can pull out of it? Because people like that stuff.
yeah, no, I've actually. Which time?
You pick the best one.
Oh, dude, they're so big. No, baseball. We were 11U baseball. We were 10U baseball, and we had 12-year-old umpires who didn't know what a balk was.
Okay.
And the pitcher from my angle kept balking.
Yeah.
And I said, "Hey, he's balking."
Mm-hmm.
And this kid wouldn't even look at me. And I was like, "Do you even know what a balk is?
Yeah.
Do you even know?" And I was asking sincere. It wasn't very sincere. I was an a-hole.
Yeah.
And I said, "You don't even know what a balk is, do you? Do you even play baseball?"
Yeah.
And he looked at me and said, "Quiet, coach." And I said, "Oh, quiet, coach. We're up to bat. We're losing championship game.
Yeah.
Pop fly, batter's out, game over. So they got to double dip us."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Man, I need to learn what a balk is."
Yeah.
And I walked off the field. I didn't even see him toss me.
Yeah.
He tossed me. I'm out. So then I'm like walking around getting ready for the next game. And the president comes up and he's like, "Dude, you got to leave the park." I was like, "What do you mean I got to leave the park? We got a game in 10 minutes. He's like, You got run, dude." I was like, "What do you mean I got run, dude?" He's like, that kid right there, 12-year-old kid. It just turns out it was his.
Get out.
So that was even more painful. So yeah, so I left. So there's pictures of me watching our championship game from behind the fence in Satfield. I get pretty heated, man. You know that. Like
I do know that.
I don't get as heated as I once did. I think I've calmed down a lot. Yeah.
It's just passion, dude.
I'm very passionate.
It's just passion. I was actually in a meeting yesterday with a guy who's had a handful of like $1 billion exits. And we were talking and he's like, "Dude, I actually love getting in a room with people who are passionate. Because at the end of the day, I at least know where I stand. Because we can work with passion. But like going back to what we were saying at the beginning of the podcast, you can't work with lies though.
Yeah.
Like if you're passionate, I know, okay, he's got some truth behind what he's feeling right now. We're going to and if it's not true, he'll calm down. We'll get to the truth.
Yeah.
But yeah, passion's a good thing.
Dude, and I see it. So when I'm coaching, we're having tryouts.
Yeah.
And I'll tell some of these other coaches, like, he's not great, but he's got passion.
Yeah.
Like, he's not, like, he's moldable, he's coachable. But I look for these kids who, I mean, I like it. Kid gets really upset when he strikes out, especially looking at a third strike. Like, I like it when a kid, hits a great shot and someone's happened to be there to catch it and they get upset. I like it when you get a ground ball ripped at you and it goes past you and you're upset about it. Not that you mope about it, not that you stand there and cry about it, but you're upset about it. And you go to that place and you're getting upset because you want to get better. But I see a lot of kids too that I'm coaching and they just couldn't care less. They strike out and they're like, "I'm going to go get a burger." Something like that. I don't know, maybe not a burger, but whatever, like and that to me is like, that's what's missing. And I think that's fading.
The edge, the
competitive edge, just that commitment to like Will Smith said it, dude. He's like, "I'm the type of competitor where I'm on a treadmill. You don't even know you're competing against me, but I will die on that treadmill before you get off," because
that was the big put when we were on the doors.
That was it, dude. Yeah. I honestly, when we were on the doors, I could give a care less when I was really going hard back at Pinnacle days when I was really going hard. I didn't even look what was deposited in my account every week. I didn't even look. I didn't care. What I was consistently looking at was the leaderboard.
Yeah.
Was I the number one dude?
Well, 83 accounts and what I was because I wanted.
I was the number. Yeah, I don't.
Yeah, nobody, not even a team sells 83 during these.
Yeah, dude. And I was out. I mean, I was out just, and I didn't see my wife. Like, we were newlyweds, and I was just like, I'm going. I'm doing this. And so I think a lot of that. And if I can instill one thing into my kids that I coach or my own kids, it's that like it's okay to be competitive. It's okay to want to win. I mean, I tell my son, it's okay between the whistles to want to dominate to the point where like there's no question. Like, it's okay to like, not to want to hurt somebody, but to want to physically impose your will on them so much where they just kind of give up. That's okay.
Like
between the whistles.
I kind of remember the time in the part where he's like, leave notes.
Yeah. Dude,
I get it.
but I just feel like it's just missing.
It is missing. And dude, there's a fine balance, because you get too hot-headed when you make a mistake, then you will not learn from it. But if you don't care, you also won't learn from it. It's just, you've got to figure out how to, and that's why one of youth sports is so great. That's why sales is so great. But speaking of sports, I know that we're short on time, and you've got a softball game you got to go play and get that passion.
I gotta go hurt my back somehow.
So let's wrap it up, and just, if there's one thing that you could share with the audience of like how to go get what they want, to be sold on themselves, what would that be?
So when we started Lift Threads, I wanted it to kind of be something that was motivating. So our tagline is get started. Lift actually stands for elevating like yourself, or elevating, like we use it as like Lift Threads or Lift promos is like taking your brand out of oblivion. Like right. Allowing your brand to be noticed by.
I thought it's because you're jacked, dude. That's this whole time.
I wish. I'm not that guy.
Do you go to the gym all the time?
I go to the gym. I don't lift weights. I talk to people, which is a problem. We could talk about that another day. I'm a really good networker at the gym.
You're great.
Yeah. But no, lift. So when we talk to our clients, I'm like, hey, listen, Lift stands for like, we want your brand to get noticed. Like we do construction companies that they've never understood. They slap their logo on a shirt. They don't care what it looks like. And I try to explain to them, like, let's make it cool. Like our goal is for your people who get your gear to want to wear your stuff 5 to 9, not 9 to 5. Right. Be better. But when we started, we wanted some sort of tagline, and it was get started.
Yeah.
How many great ideas are in the graveyard?
All of them.
Not so many.
Many of them.
Many people have incredible ideas that could possibly change the world, could change their lives, could change the way we interact with people, could change so many things. And they just don't get started.
So true. Dude.
And then even with me, I had this idea to start manufacturing our own apparel. First time it hit my mind was in 2016, and I just didn't do it. 2017 didn't do it. 2018 didn't do it. 2019 didn't do it.
Yeah.
I just didn't do it. And then finally I was like, screw it, I'm going to get started. What's the worst that can happen? I have some crappy shirts and I just burn them or something, whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we got started, and all it took was that first step of getting started that I was able to like, and trust me, it wasn't like a bed of roses. Like we have spots in our warehouse. We just call it we call it a lot of things, but it's basically where we put all the clothes that came over that they were garbage. And we just keep them, we inventory them out, we give them out for free. But I mean, it's been tough, dude. That we've had a lot of things where there was 5 months in a row where I didn't get a paycheck and I put money into the business. Yeah. I mean, I've never not had a paycheck weekly. And there's 5 months in a row where I was just, okay, we got to get inventory. But if you don't get started, you're never going to get to the point to even look quitting in the eye, because you never got started. Like you have the idea, and people have the great idea to go out and do something, and then they're just lazy, or I don't even call it lazy, maybe scared of failure. But guess what? Failure is the first step of success.
Yeah.
And if you're scared of failure, you need to like look that bitch in the eye and like tell it, no, like we're going to succeed. No matter how many times I fall over, I'm going to get up. Like imagine if a little baby, little baby's starting to walk, how many times do they fall over before they start to run? 1 million. Imagine if you fell over once and he's like, screw it, not trying that again. Like, how do we lose that as a human race? How do we lose that tenacity to be able to go out and fall down 100 times and get up 101 to where you're 30 years old and you're scared to go out and take a chance?
True, man.
Like, what's the worst that could happen? You fail
Yeah.
and then you get up. Or maybe like, friends don't. I learned this, dude. When I started this business, people who I considered good friends, and I don't blame them. I don't care. It's not a big deal. They were nowhere to be seen. They didn't come over. They didn't help. They didn't say good job. They didn't share posts on social media.
Yeah.
But then people that I never thought in a million years have been the cornerstone to my business.
Yeah.
And it's incredible to see that. But I never would have known if I didn't get started. I think the number one key to success is getting started. In every single thing, every single business, Facebook, he may have stolen an idea from the twins, but he got started. Yeah. Amazon did it. He didn't have a whole lot to start with, but he started. Yeah. You see the picture.
You know what's so funny, dude? So you helped me with the Santa can list, right? So I literally was talking to a guy as on my way here to say, hey, I'm going to need an operator to do this. And he literally said, he's like, dude, we had the same idea 3 years ago. And he's like, it's such a good idea. And I was like, well, cool, man. Here's your chance. Like it's because to be an entrepreneur, being in a commission only environment, you have to have that. Just go, dude.
Do it. Figure it out.
When I knocked with Trost, and it's only relevant because he's on the show last week and this week, but I knocked 2 doors with him it was the first time I ever knocked doors, 2. And I was like, am I getting paid, dude? Am I going to make money if you get to deal? He's like, nope. And I'm like, just go away.
Yeah.
I'll figure this out on my own, man. And he was like, all right. And the rest is history. Like, cause I can't start. And yeah, I do. I agree with you 100%. It's powerful.
Yeah. And I think that if anyone asks me advice, I mean, there's a million little things that I've learned, and there's a million things I have to learn, probably 5 million things I have to learn still.
Yeah, we do.
But at the end of the day, if you didn't get started, you don't have a chance.
Valid.
Like at the end of the day, if you don't go out and try it and just push yourself a little bit, and it starts with everything, man. If you want to go lose weight and you can't get up an hour and a half earlier you're valuing your sleep over your actual goals.
Yeah.
If you want to make more money, but you're like, cool, 5 o'clock, I'm out.
Yeah.
So you're not going to make more money. Like you have to value that goal more than you value sometimes your time, or your mostly like how comfortable you are.
Yeah, 100%.
Dude, I was uncomfortable writing a check every month. I mean,
especially leaving Sunder and leaving.
Dude, I hadn't missed one.
Trailers?
Yeah, like every week, because that's how we got paid in alarms, is every week. And I was every week. And then I had a residual from other things, man. And that was hard, but I knew I had to do it. And then I was like, hey, well, if this fails, this is the other thing, doors are good. If this fails, I'll go sell something.
Yeah.
I don't know if I want to knock doors again, I would.
Yeah.
But there's a million things you can sell. And if you're
100%.
really good at selling, you're going to be able to find a way to make money.
You'll never starve if you can sell. Ever, never,
I
ever.
never will.
Yeah, I agree.
So
100%.
get started, man. That's why it says it nowhere on anything I'm wearing, but you get started, man. That to me is the key to life. Just get started. Ask the girl I like. Get started.
Good idea.
Do your thing.
I agree. Well, Johnny, thanks for coming on, dude. Or thanks for hosting.
No,
today.
anytime.
I had to come get these shirts. I probably ought to plug them.
Oh, yeah.
So the whole reason for this shirt is sell anything, right? That's the podcast. But I just wrote a book, and I have not told anyone or anybody about it, but it's called Sold on Yourself. And there's a coaching program that goes along with it, and we've got a handful of people in it. So we're sending this shirt out to those people that are in it. And this is the first time I've seen it. It just says sold, and it's just simply on yourself. So because if you're sold on yourself, you'll get started. You'll take that investment and you'll jump. So that's it.
Love it.
But thanks again.
Yeah, no, thanks for having me.